Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. Today we're taking a look at the case of 21-year-old Diamond Bynum and her 2-year-old nephew King Walker, who disappeared on July 25th of 2015. So that's almost 9 years ago, so they would now be 30 and 11. So King Walker's mother, Diamond's sister, would travel back and forth to Chicago to attend her beautician classes, and she would drop off King with her parents, so King's grandparents, and Aunt Diamond lived with them as well. So this was a regular occurrence. And on that particular day, Diamond's mother, Diamond herself, and nephew King went and took a nap. Now when Diamond's mother Suzanne woke up, the two were nowhere to be found, and she checked outside and of course inside the house. She couldn't find them anywhere. And since Diamond suffered from Prader-Willi syndrome, which is a condition characterized by slow mental development and an always present state of hunger, they suspect that she took her nephew for a walk and simply got lost. Now, the family had recently moved from Hammond to Gary, and at their old home, Diamond had known the neighborhood, and the people in the neighborhood knew about her condition. In the new location, that wasn't quite the case yet, at least from what I can tell. Now, her father Eugene said in an interview in 2016 that he doesn't believe that they're in Gary anymore. He says, "We searched thousands of abandoned homes and buildings. It takes 10 minutes to get out of Gary. We're close to the border. They aren't here." Now, in the weeks after they went missing, hundreds of volunteers came and offered whatever help they could offer. Dozens of searches were conducted across town, and lots of flyers were put up everywhere. Nothing significant came up, and authorities say that they have exhausted all leads and no new ones have surfaced. The family believes that the authorities have not done enough to bring the two home, and they wanted the FBI involved in the case, and they are of the opinion that if the FBI had been involved and taken their call seriously from the start, the two would have been returned home safe. Diamond's mother, in a much more recent interview, said that as long as no body has been presented, then she believes that the two are still out there alive and holds hope that they will return one day. But we don't have any further information, and that is why we're going to take a look at this case using the tarot. And we're going to start off with the Wise Dog Tarot, which is already on the table. And for any further questions, moving on to the Tarot Mucha, which is this one. So as per usual, I'm just going to start shuffling the deck. As soon as I have about a table full of cards, we're going to stop and take a look. So without much further ado, let's get started. Okay, let's see what we've got. So we're starting here at the top left with the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. We have the 2 of Swords in reverse, and we have Temperance also in reverse. Oop, also back on the table. 7 of Pentacles. Usually watching things ripen on the vine, things that you've planted, and maybe in this case it's more of a there isn't really anything here that I've prepared. Maybe she woke up and was like, I'm hungry, let's go grab something. And maybe King woke up first, woke her up and was like, I'd like to go get something. And she agreed to go take him somewhere. In any case, there is a single-minded focus there with the Two of Swords in reverse, but there is temperance here, so that is at least positive. Like, even though they may not have tried to tell anybody, maybe they felt like they were going to do things the right way, they were going to like stay balanced, and she may have been considering that she should be careful with basically everything, careful with him, careful with going out there, and just in general trying to stay balanced and calm and collected, that type of thing. At least that's how she started off, with this mindset of we're just going to do things the right way. And also has a bit of a shepherding look, this dog over here. She must have felt really protective of King, so she's like, okay, I'm going to do things right because he's 2 years old and we're going to do what we can in order to make sure he's okay out there. Then we have the Three of Swords in reverse. I kind of wonder if that is perhaps them thinking, let's not wake everybody up, let's just go together and we'll sort things out, it'll be fine, like that type of thing. And the moon is in reverse, so we're hiding some things maybe. And we also have here the Seven of Cups in reverse. Okay, so only really wishing for one thing, or maybe not really having anything to wish for. This may be, and kind of strikes me as Three's a Crowd. If I wake her up, or if I wake anybody else up, it's going to be, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, and we're just not going to tell them. We're just going to pop out, and we're going to grab our thing, and then we're going to come back, and nobody needs to know. This is all the things that I want. At least the one thing that we're going to go get, we're going to go do that quietly. They won't even know we've been gone, like that type of thing. So they probably fully intended to just be out there for a little while and then come back as soon as they were done with getting whatever it is that they were planning on getting. And maybe they even thought they could surprise the people at home with some food by the time that they woke up next. We have the King of Swords here, somebody who is fairly sharp. I'm not entirely sure who this is referencing. In any case, it is an energy of being quick-witted and just thinking on your feet. Also being very methodical, like not quite Knight of Pentacles methodical, but more like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We have a plan. We have like a battle plan that we're working on. But then we have Strength in reverse over here, followed by the Queen of Swords. All right, so we have two royals here. We have the king and the queen, but I think this is the same person, but just in different moods. So first we have the, okay, we're just going to do this, we're just going to do that, like very cold and calculated. Then we have a loss of strength, like maybe they now also think, maybe we can also grab this, and maybe we can also grab that while we're out there. And then we have here this Queen of Swords who may be justifying this change of plans. That's kind of how I see it over here. There's a change of plan, and the strength that they had initially to just do the one thing that they had focused on was wavering, and that is why we're now looking at Strength in reverse and the Queen of Wands trying to justify the whole thing. We then have the Six of Swords. Alright, so maybe somebody's actually convincing them to come with them instead. High Priestess over here, though, somebody has some inkling that there might be something going on. And then we have the Ten of Wands. So maybe somebody offered them a ride or something. Like maybe they had an encounter with somebody who saw them walking there and was like, hey, just starting a conversation, trying to figure out who they were and all that sort of thing. And then they were like, oh, you're going over there? I can give you a ride, like that. And there was definitely a worry there. I think that's on Diamond's part, like, oh, I don't know if that's such a good idea. And we have the High Priestess here giving her that inkling, and then we have this Ten of Wands in reverse. So maybe she's kind of like worried about something at this point. This may be her already being kind of lost and not really sure where she is and where she's going. And probably extra stressed because she's now also responsible for the 2-year-old that she has on her hand. So that's A lot of stress for her. Then we have the King of Wands here. Somebody's very actionable. And we have the Hierophant right on its side. It fell on its side. So this is a questionable authority type of person. So maybe this person over here. Yeah, at least these two cards may represent the same person. Like we have a King of Wands here, is looking very friendly, but the King of Wands, more so than the Queen of Wands, is very willful and does what he wants when he wants it, and it doesn't really matter to him what circumstances may be. He'll do what he wants regardless. And then we have this Hierophant over here who's kind of in charge of this pack. And maybe this person's like, oh yeah, because maybe Diamond said no to this ride that they may have offered, something like that type of vibe. And then this King of Wands is like, okay, well, I asked you nicely, but we're going to do this anyway. And they may have tried to call upon some type of authority that they may have in some way, like maybe they have a certain station that they're in, and that's like, oh no, you can trust me because I'm doing this or I'm doing that, like, hey, I have kids or something, or some type of call to experience with other matters that may appeal to Diamond. Maybe even appeal to King, like maybe they're trying to charm the 2-year-old, like, oh, if you come with me, I can give you extra toys when we get to McDonald's or something along those lines. Just trying to convince them to do what they want, because the King of Wands definitely wants them to do what they want, what the King of Wands wants. So we're not off to a great start. We start off trying to be resolute. We wanted to only really focus on one thing, and we kind of wanted it like to be done quickly and without anybody noticing, but then we are in trouble and potentially running into a character who may not have the best intentions. Let's see if we can get anything else. All right, we have the 3 of Cups in reverse up there. That one already fell up here. So 3 of Wands is normally a harmony card, a party card, but I think in this case we're not agreeing with whoever it is that we're with. Maybe they are just unagreeable in general. This may just be the vibe, whatever it is. They may be in a car right now, and they may be having this moment where at the very least Diamond is probably not impressed with them. We have here the Queen of Wands on its side and the Hermit on its side. I'm thinking the Queen of Wands is probably Diamond trying to assert her will, but not being able to. And we also have the Hermit on its side. Now the Hermit is normally somebody who retreats and then tries to seek wisdom or something along those lines, tries to look at things from a different perspective, from a distance, that sort of thing. Maybe she's like, I need to get out of here because I need a moment to collect myself and I don't like what's going on, but I just need to be by myself for a while, that type of thing. But it's not very successful because it's on his side. So maybe she is able to at least express that concern and that desire, but it's not being honored, being listened to. Whoop. Okay. We have a lot of cards that are currently popping out, but it's all just off screen. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. I'll just put them over here for a second. More, actually. All right, let's take a look. Let's grab these 3 first. We have the 5 of Swords. All right, so we're having some arguments here. We have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, also unable to make things happen, or somebody whom is actually not Diamond or King in this case, and they are just lying to them about how much time and resources this is going to take. Maybe they're actually looking to get some resources from Diamond, thinking that maybe Diamond has something on her. And we have the 3 of Swords in reverse again. So now we're like, okay, we don't need all of you here right now. Maybe there are too many people involved in this, and whoever is in control in this situation is considering reducing the numbers, if you want to put it politely. Like, they're not really interested in having this entire group with them. Maybe they only want a few people. But in any case, there is some type of discord between people. This may be an internal argument. Maybe this is also Diamond like arguing with herself internally, maybe chastising herself for having made the decision in the first place. And then we have here this Queen is kind of taking over. and saying that there's too many people here. Let's see what we have here. Again, the Hierophant. We are once again calling upon some type of authority that they appear to have, or at least calling upon. I keep wanting to say this may be somebody whom is at least pretending to be something like law enforcement or something like that, like something impressive to somebody who might not be able to tell the good people from the bad, like that type of thing. Like maybe they were pretending like, oh no, you can trust me, look, see, I have a badge and I have this and I have that, and why are you trying to walk away? Like what are you gonna get? Or you don't even know where you are, I can help you, that type of thing. Then we have here the Page of Wands, who's somebody who takes quick actions, and there's also the Chariot right there, so there's a lot of activity happening in a short amount of time. Could be that we're now acting rashly, but I don't know exactly on whose part we're acting rashly on. It could be the Hierophant over there taking quick actions because they start to feel like they're no longer really as fully in control as they would like to be, or things are just not going in the right direction. They just want to correct the direction that it's headed in, or they feel like maybe the situation that they're in needs to be resolved as soon as possible. Like maybe they're in a public place and they're like, oh no, you're causing too much fuss and I need this to stop, and that's why we're now going to quickly take some actions to help with that, at least to help themselves with that. Then we have the King of Pentacles. Okay, so initially we had the Queen of Pentacles and now we have the King of Pentacles. So I do feel like that is the same person being represented twice. So this may be whomever, I guess we could start calling them a perpetrator, because at this point it kind of looks like they encountered somebody, Diamond and King, whom had bad intentions and pretended to be a good person. It kind of looks like that. So this King over here, initially we were just kind of trying to control the situation, and now we're really like stepping into a position of power and possibly also limiting what it is that they can get, like trying to hold things over them. Like for instance, if it's just Diamond now in this situation with this person, they may be now saying, oh, you're hungry? Oh yeah, well, I'm not going to give you any food unless you do X, Y, and Z for me. Like that type of situation, I feel might be happening. I don't know if that's exactly the situation that's happening, but it's kind of like that type of power dynamic. Like I have something, you want it, if you want to get it, make sure to do what I want you to do, that type of thing. And this happened all very quickly, this switch in game plan, or maybe not the switch in the game plan, but this as it was presented to them. We have the negative surprise here. Could be that Diamond's now only really fully realizing what the issue is over here, and this page also looks fairly angry if you look at it like that. There's quite a lot of emotion in the background over there, so maybe she's now putting her foot down and definitely trying to let them know how she feels about things. Could also be both ways. There might just be a general negative situation, like emotionally negative and volatile situation happening at that time. And the Four of, oh, it actually put itself in place quite nicely. The Four of Pentacles on its side. So we are now unable or unsure how to handle our resources. We don't know what to do with them. We don't know what we need exactly, how to spend it, or what we can spend it on, what our options are, because the Four of Pentacles is like trying to balance your finances. I'm saying finances because Pentacles are usually like a type of resource thing. It could also be like, how do I spend my time? Or what can I spend my time on? What are my options? And it's just very unclear. So she's having some trouble figuring that out. Maybe she's now trying to deal with the situation as she now realizes that she is in. We have here the Death card, and this dark figure standing over what I'm assuming is a corpse over there on the end, the corpse of a king. And in the background we can actually see like almost a bishop, I think. That might be a bishop with a sword in the background. That's interesting. I actually didn't notice him before, sitting by the tree over there. Can you see him? For some reason, that one's kind of drawing my attention, like the person that they were pretending to be earlier. They've been unrobed, because death doesn't always necessarily mean straight up death. It could also just mean end of a chapter. Maybe this is also the end of the disguise that they wore to fool Diamond and King. And so maybe that's what she's now fully aware of, and she just doesn't know how to deal with that. So what happens next? Whoops. Okay, we have quite a few cards here. This one first. Next we have Judgment in reverse. So we may be hard done by, or this may even be a lack of I want to say a release or something, because usually Judgment, this card looks very dramatic, but normally it's people rising from the grave in order to ascend to heaven or something like a second coming of Christ type of Judgment Day type of thing. But it almost feels like this is withheld because it's in reverse. And let's see, it could also be her realizing that she had a poor judgment in meeting with this person. We have here this Sun in reverse, so things are turning very negative, very cold, I want to say. We have an Ace of Cups. She might be trying to appeal to somebody to hopefully help her out. But we have the Star in reverse, which I often see. Oh, we also have the Five of Pentacles. Okay, we got a lot actually. This is the Five of Cups. Alright, so this is quite a lot of drama here in one go. So with this Ace of Cups, I feel like maybe she's trying to appeal to somebody, to maybe make a connection with them, to possibly like sort things out with them, but it doesn't look like that attempt is successful, because we have here the Star in reverse, which I often see as somebody disappearing from view, from the world. And we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Well, you can see by the card that it's not a great situation. This is like a bankruptcy type of thing. Could be you've lost everything. And then we have the Five of Cups in reverse, again with that loss energy, but now on the emotional front, like unable to process this loss. And this, I think, really is like being lost. This could be a moment where she realizes that they're taking her somewhere and she's not going to see her family again anytime soon, like a kidnapping situation almost. And it doesn't have to be kidnapping necessarily, but more like some type of loss, like we're not going to see this person again, we're not going to come back home again, even though she might not leave or go too far away. It doesn't actually say anything about that yet. We did have the Six of Swords earlier, but now we're still looking at these, and it doesn't say anything about travel in particular, which doesn't mean that they didn't travel, but these cards just don't say it in particular. But we have a lot of drama here. I'm going to switch back to the Wise Dog Tarot, because otherwise we're going to see nothing but this deck for next few layers, and that gets a little confusing. But okay, so we have a situation where we are now fully aware of the bad situation that we're in, and we're trying to appeal to somebody to maybe help them out, or possibly stop whatever it is that they're doing that she does not like. Let's see what happens after that. Okay, there's a card that also flips in here. I'm going to grab that real quick. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Things are changing. So there's definitely a lot of change, possibly permanent change. We have the Magician on its side. We're still trying to do things over here. And we have the Four of Swords. Okay, so unable to really rest and reflect on things. Also not much chance of doing anything about it. Both of these dogs are trying to sleep, it seems. Like the Four of Swords is trying to rest and maybe look at it again another day. The Magician wants to dream up new realities, but neither is very successful in that. Like they're just not being given a chance to start over or do something other than what is currently happening, taking a step back. It's unable to let it go. Oh, okay. There's one on the floor and one on the table. Floor card is the King of Pentacles in reverse again. And the Fool in reverse. Okay, so we're not actually allowing ourselves to take things lightly, just go with the flow. So we're trying to influence the outcome, but I'm looking at the snake at the paw of the dog there. And the dog is trying to reach for a butterfly. There's butterflies over there as well. There's a lot of butterflies in this card, or in these decks in particular, this Wise Dog Tarot. But I don't see them in the others right now. There's usually plenty of butterflies. The thing with butterflies is that it always reminds me of some type of death-related event. Like in Japan in particular, butterflies are connected with the spirits of the deceased. And these two cards, this King of Pentacles we saw before already, trying to determine how things were going to happen. And I'm noticing the butterfly there, and also the butterfly that the Fool is reaching for while the snake is about to bite its paw. So maybe they're being fooled into a very dangerous situation, which will not end well for them. And this girl almost seems to be trying to warn them, but it's falling on deaf ears. Like maybe she just kind of went into some type of mode where there's a bit of denial of the reality that she's in, and it still managed to bite her anyway. Like nothing that she could do with this Magician card over here was going to prevent whatever this King of Pentacles has in mind. Let's see if we can get any cards about if we're ever going to find out anything from Diamond or King, or we're ever going to find them or anything, because so far I'm seeing a lot of Diamond, not so much King. It's not coming through clearly. One card just jumped and then decided to just land back into the deck. This one actually fell out. Okay, so we have Justice here, so that's already a pretty good sign that we might actually eventually at least learn what happened, because Justice tends to, well, literally justice. You may see some justice there. We might actually find out who did what, and they may then have to stand trial if they did something bad to them. That card is on the floor. Six of Cups in reverse, though, so it's kind of like negative memories, maybe. This may be somebody who remembers exactly what happened to Diamond and King, and they may be, I guess, unable to stop thinking about it. Like it's just haunting them. That's the word I'm looking for. They may be haunted by what happened, and it might not even be the person who directly took any actions. It might be somebody who was just kind of like in the circle around whomever a perpetrator might be. Somebody who may have witnessed something and kept quiet for all these years. They may suddenly be like, no, I have to say something because this isn't right and people deserve to know. Like they keep having that thought popping up. And then we have here the Eight of Swords. So this person, while being wrought with whatever it is, negative emotions, negative memories, also is in a bit of a trap of their own making. So it could be that this is indeed somebody whom is either directly connected to a perpetrator or whom is a perpetrator, but they've got some type of mindset that keeps them from actually stepping out, at least for the time being. But since we did pull Justice over here, I feel like eventually that Eight of Swords is going to be lifted, because as with most Eight of Swords, it is a mental trap that you put yourself in and not something that somebody else can keep you in. If you want to leave that trap, that dog could easily jump over that small fence, basically made out of those small swords, and this person could easily stop thinking the way that they do. So it's their own choice to stay in that mindset for the time being. But like I said, they may be weighing their options over here with that Justice card. Like as soon as the negative of hanging on to this information becomes heavier than the positive, they might eventually decide to speak up. Also, if you look at the Justice card, like it shows it there as well, like on the negative side, or at least on the dark dog side, we see a sword, and that might be the thought process that they're currently in. And on the other side, you have the cup, so the emotions over there. If the emotions start to outweigh the thinking, the logical thinking, or the logic, whatever it is that they've built up around this whole situation, then eventually we're going to see the emotions win out, and then we're going to see some justice. That's what this card seems to be saying. Oh, that one almost landed on the floor, but it's right on the edge. And it's the Nine of Cups, and then they'll feel a lot better. Yeah, so like I said, as soon as the emotions outweigh the logical process that they're currently still using to keep themselves from speaking out, they're going to end up like feeling so much better, like a relief, like just something that they've been holding on for a long time that they can then finally let go. Kind of reminds me of that story from Edgar Allan Poe, The Telltale Heart. This person does away with an older person that he was caring for, but he doesn't really care for. So, and then there's like this heartbeat that he's hearing that keeps getting louder and louder until he can't contain it anymore, and he basically just blurts out that he did it, just to get that off his chest. And I feel like this is going to be a similar situation where whomever this is going to eventually break and go, okay, well, I don't really care what the consequences are. I just need this out there so that people know, and then finally it's off of my chest. And they'll feel a lot better about that, because that'll at least clear them of holding on to it. There we go. Well, we're unable to let go right now, though, because death is still in reverse. And that means we're going to have to wait a bit longer before they can actually do this, because they're not ready to let go of this chapter of their life just yet. So I feel like if we want to draw like a conclusion here, whomever did something to Diamond, making it so that she could not return, their associate possibly, or maybe even themselves, will eventually break, because the memories of that and the guilt of the event is weighing them down, and once that outweighs whatever logical reason they have to keep things hidden, they're going to set themselves free by actually letting the truth come out. But until then, they're unable to let go of that situation with the death card in reverse. So that is what I'm seeing for Diamond Bynum and King Walker. I hope you found it interesting. Make sure to leave a comment and a thumbs up. That would really help as well. And of course, subscribing is very much appreciated. In any case, I hope to see you in another video. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.